My mind is manifesting Parkinson's for me, and about 3 years now. A lot of symptoms, 20 symptoms or so. Recently I started on some medication. I feel 80% better, and I would like to find out exactly how I need to attune myself so that I can be free, symptom free.
Well, you're on the right track. Everything that you said to us already tells us that you're on the right track, because you start out with that vibration of appreciation, not a vibration of victim, and you acknowledge the improvement that you're already receiving. And that's how improvement increases, you say.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't let a diagnosis get the better of you, if you just let the experience of it, which gives birth to that strong desire of that feeling of freedom that you want, and you focus there, then it just continues. There isn't anything that you cannot have the way you want it to be. It's just a matter of knowing that and then practicing it. And so you already have experienced the progress that you're wanting. In other words, the impulses and the following of them. It's working well for you.
And I have a butt that I would like you to kick out of the way.
Well, the thing about that is, we can't kick a butt out of your way because you're the one that puts it in your way. And the thing that we want to say is, why would you put it in your way? In other words, if you don't put it there, it doesn't have to be kicked out of the way. And you might say, well, it already is there. And we say, yeah, but it gets bigger when we talk about it. So just stay away from those yeah buts. They'll get you. The yeah buts are what get you.
Yeah, but...
We know. We know. It's such a temptation to punctuate what is. But punctuating what is keeps the vibration of what is in all of its wanted and unwanted going on. So this is why you want to focus. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So can you resist the temptation to focus on something that when you do doesn't feel good? In other words, you see, there's a tendency to want to ask somebody else to solve the problem.
Oh yeah.
To get it out of the way.
I paid good money, that's why I came here.
Yeah, but so I promise to you that you have heard and will continue to hear everything that is essential for you to experience a continuation of the improvement that you seek.
Mm-hmm.
We'll hear your yeah, but if you're intent on it. But
okay.
We talked you out of it?
No. They say that the drugs will develop a tolerance after a while, and now I'll go back to how I was functioning before.
Everything that the medical community is acknowledging is based upon the experiences that they have had. It is rare for them to encounter someone who is doing vibrational work at the same time that they are doing other therapeutic work. And there are no studies yet. Well, there are some, but they are obscure and not known by most, and certainly not known by someone who is telling you, take this for a while, it'll work for a little while, and then it'll stop working. And we say, that's true of everything, because you're expanding beings. Don't ask the same things to continue to carry you. That's a sort of vibrational law of the universe. That's the way we started here today. We said to you that the beliefs that you hold and the desires that you currently hold are not going to be enough to carry you through all of your life. We said to you that while you're going with the flow of some of them, in other words, the moment when we were talking about the thought that gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it begins to come to fruition, there'll be lots of new ones coming along. And so what you need to add as a yeah but to that yeah but is, yeah but whatever I need will unfold for me. And if this one is, if this remedy is one that begins to lose its advantage to me, there will be another and another and another, because things are always working out for me. We can tell from the vitality of your being, from the intensity of your beingness. We can tell that this is not something that's going to take you out. In other words, you have the ability to hold yourself where you are and move toward improvement. You just do. You just do, you see. So accept that and watch for evidence of that. That momentum that we were talking about, you can get any thought going, and law of attraction will add momentum to that thought. If we were standing in any of your physical shoes, we would choose the thought to which we would like law of attraction to add its momentum. Because momentum is going to happen to whatever thought, ever thought, is activated within you, you see. Most people don't know that they get to choose. Most people believe that, well, now that I'm here, this is as far as I can go. That would be like getting on a path somewhere, moving around this nation, and someone telling you, this is as far as this path goes. And you're standing there and you're looking. There are so many other options for me. This is not the end of the path. Don't give me that. You don't understand. It might be the end of someone's path if they're really tired and weary. It might be the end of someone's path if they're really discouraged. In other words, there are lots of viable paths that people just lie down on and die all over the place, you see. But it's not who you are. It's not what you want. It's not what's unfolding for you. And so don't let somebody else diagnose your path. Yeah. You get to decide. You get to decide.
Louise Hay says that the Parkinson's thing is, the symptom is an expression of not trusting the process of life.
Well, we would say that is true of every disease. Because when you are in sync with who you are, and you are allowing the fullness of who you are to be present in this moment, let's talk about the word trust. That's really a good word. Because if you understand what we're saying, if you trust, believe us when we tell you, that's not it. Pay attention to what's happening. Oh, that doesn't work, because when you focus negatively, negative things happen, and we don't want you to trust in that. Trust in law of attraction. Trust in the eternalness of who you are. Trust in the emotion that's present within you. Trust in your own guidance system. So what trust or faith really is, so we were talking about, there's a vibration. You don't trust it because you haven't even interpreted it yet. You haven't even realized it yet. We tell you it's there and you say, oh yeah, Abraham's delusional. We say, well, the vibration is there. It's there. And you can tune yourself to the receptive mode. But can you trust it before you've tuned yourself to the receptive mode? So then we say, all right, pay attention to what the subtle realization of that vibration is. It's thoughts that occur to you and feelings that waft through you. That's something real and tangible. You can trust that. So there is an unconditional, because the condition hasn't changed yet. The manifestation hasn't happened yet. The money isn't in the bank yet. The car isn't in the garage yet. In other words, the full conditions, the conditions haven't adjusted to the vibration yet because the momentum hasn't been strong enough or long enough. But there is evidence of the motion in the form of emotion and thought. So you don't have to stand in blind trust. You can, if you can hear that piece, if you can hear us if you can hear us say this to you, all of you, when you are interpreting, better word, when you are realizing, same word, when you are interpreting, realizing, aware of a vibration, and it is giving you an emotional response, which means you're sensitive and you're feeling and the vibration is there. You must let that be enough evidence. So then you might say, trust your feeling. You might say, trust the process. You might say, trust in the laws of the universe. And we say, look for the evidence of it. It's all around you. Get focused upon something and watch it come to you. Start beating the drum of something and watch it come to you in spades. Show yourself that law of attraction is not arbitrary. It's certain. It doesn't take a lot of trust to be aware of the obvious. So when you have listened to us a bit, talking about the laws of the universe, and you've practiced it in your willingness to just test it, the evidence comes to you strong. And so that's what she means, or that's what we want her to mean. Trust the process means, we're not saying trust your ability to focus. You haven't shown yourself you can do that yet, most of you, very well. We're not saying trust. We're not saying, it's like we want you to trust that the sun's going to come up in the morning. And you say, well, that's pretty easy because it's been doing it every morning since I got here. And so it's pretty easy for me to trust in that, unless you get on some crazy rant where someone who is delusional and focused upon not well-being has convinced you that it's all coming to a crushing end when it is barely beginning. It's easy to trust in things that you see with your eyes, but that's conditional trust. That's conditional love. That's trusting in conditions that you can't always control, and that's what trips you up. But when you start trusting in things like law of attraction, which doesn't squirrel around on you, when you start trusting things like your own emotions, you start showing yourself the solidity of your thoughts and the irrefutable evidence that comes in response to that. As you develop this relationship between you and you can trust that. You will come to trust that what flows through you. You will begin to get impulses and follow through on them and see the evidence that you're wanting to see. And you will begin to trust. We just want so much for you not to need the evidence before you trust. We want vibrational evidence to be enough. We want emotional evidence to be enough. We want the feeling within you to be enough. We want you to show yourself how this works. And then anything that you focus upon comes to be. Anything. No exception. Nice to know.